early ideas about the building blocks of matter. I just want you to know, I expect that you are also going to read the book, read these chapters in the book. Some of this information I'm going to go over just really quickly because there's not really a lot of explaining to do. You just need to read it and, okay, I've heard that now. So I'm not going to be covering everything in my lecture, but I do expect that you read the book. Okay, so back in the 5th century BC, Leucippus and his student Democritus were I guess not really scientists, but they were students of the universe. They were trying to understand what everything was. And they were the first people to propose that matter was composed of small indestructible particles, and they called them atomos. Democritus wrote, "Nothing exists except atoms and empty space. Everything else is opinion." This was the 5th century BC. These guys came up with this idea. So they proposed that there were many different kinds of atoms, and each of them had their own shape and size, and that they moved randomly through empty space. You may not have heard of those guys. You've probably heard of Plato and Aristotle. They believed that matter had no smallest parts and that you could infinitely divide matter. They believed that different substances were composed of various proportions of what they considered the 4 elements: fire, air, earth, and water. So there was this competition between these ideas. There was no objective way to say, well, this one's better than the other. And so Aristotle, being more influential, was the one who won out. And people believed Aristotle over Leucippus. And that set science back basically 2,000 years because they believed the wrong idea. Later, the scientific approach to studying things became established, and we did have ways of saying, okay, well, which of these ideas has more merit? We can propose experiments and see if these hypotheses hold up. So now we're up into the 1800s. John Dalton was an English chemist, and he offered convincing evidence that Leucippus and Democritus were actually correct. So he had evidence, but then the debate went on until 1905 when Einstein explained the idea of Brownian motion.